Hello and welcome to Point of View, where we give students a place to listen, learn, and lean in. I'm your host, Delisa Troupe, and today we're going to follow the journey of Techno Titans, Northview's robotics team, from when it was first created to becoming one of the biggest clubs at Northview today.
So it started in 2005. I think it had been around for 2 or 3 years, and then a teacher by the name of Jason Weinberger had taken it over. And that is who Howard had been working with, was Jason. And then I came in at that point, and then they were basically a school club for about 10 years. In 2015, I was involved then. In 2015, we decided to become a 501c3 nonprofit. And by doing that, it allowed us to be financially free from the school.
Techno Titans was founded in 2005, around the time that Northview opened. However, it's not just a school club. In 2015, they became a 501c3 organization. Coach Teresa Dixon joined years later to help her current husband with the team.
It really was a matter of my boyfriend at the time was actually one of the mentors with the team, and I never saw him from January to May because that's when he was up here working with the kids. So after a while, I have no technical experience whatsoever, but I found that the team also needed people who could order a pizza, who could make their hotel reservations, who could take care of the books. So I volunteered to do that so that I could be with my friend as well as help the kids out. Howard, he is now my husband as of 2 weeks ago. He was approached by the school. He works at Nordson, and Nordson is one of the leading industries here in Johns Creek. When the team was formed in 2005, they approached the industry leaders and said, do you have any technical mentors who can help with the robotics program? He volunteered. So now he's here and he's the lead mentor on the team. And then, like I said, I help out too.
To ensure that they can get the materials and supplies they need on time, the robotics team reaches out to sponsors that help them with their financial needs.
So for example, we're building a robot and we say, oh my gosh, we need these parts right now. We need this. A typical situation, if you were still with the school club, would be you'd have to put in a requisition to get funds. It could take a week before all the paperwork and everything is done. By being the 501c3, we were able to then, we can do our own finances. So if we need a part, we can order it right now, get it tomorrow. So, and that allowed us to, by having these big sponsors and the foundation, we can operate more freely. We can afford to have the workspace. We can afford so that here, if you have something you need to do, you pretty much have to finish up by 8 o'clock at night when they lock the building. We can be at the workspace as long as the parents will allow their children to be there. So it's a nice thing. And honestly, we cannot do this without our sponsors. And we have some very, very generous sponsors. Well, Nordson is our biggest sponsor, and that's where Howard works. And they were one of the founding sponsors of the team. So, and this year, actually, they granted us $20,000. So we just put words out. A lot of it comes from sponsors, parents of the students. Wherever they're working, we say, hey, can you just give us a name? That's all we ask. We'll do the work. Just give us a name of somebody to contact and see what we can do.
Just this year, Techno Titans had over 200 people show interest in the club, with 92 standing members as of today. After they recruit people through orientation and club fair, they spend the first 2 weeks explaining what the club is about and allow people to decide whether or not it's for them. For the rest of the semester, they divide into sub-teams and do boot camps, where they hone their skills for the FRC competitions in the spring.
We have several sub-teams, so you can choose if you want to be on the team on fabrication that actually builds the robot, if you want to be on the electrical team that does the wiring, or if you have no desire to even touch a robot but want to do our social media, you can be on the business team. So during first semester, we have that whole time where you can learn about your sub-team and what your responsibilities will be. And then another thing we do during the first semester is we mentor younger kids in a program called FLL, First Lego League. So they're using the Lego Mindstorms, and we help them learn how to program it as well as they do a project.
During the second semester, on the first Saturday in January is a big kickoff. First, a robotics competition for high school students releases the theme or game for that year. In the 2021 to 2022 season, the theme is transportation. On their website, they explain further. From the shipment of packages in rural and urban areas to disaster relief delivery and high-tech air transit, teams will reimagine faster, more reliable, inclusive, and sustainable transportation innovations that better connect and grow communities and economies around the world. They are given 6 weeks to build their robot, which is around 120 pounds. After those 6 weeks, they start their competition cycle. This past weekend, they went to their first competition in Dalton, Georgia, and at the end of the month, they'll be going to Albany.
I'm honestly really, really proud of our team making so much progress this season so far. All of our practices have been going pretty well. If we will win, I hope so. But then again, robots are always, robots have a mind of their own pretty much. Yes, we control them, but sometimes things do go beyond our control and something might break or something might, malfunction. So it's hard to tell if we will win or not. We don't know what other teams' robots are like yet, but knowing the competition in the Peachtree District, it will probably be pretty tough. But since it is one of the first competitions, I expect other teams to pretty much be on the same level, maybe. But I do think that our robot is pretty solid. We can climb, we can shoot, we can track. So I have confidence in our team's abilities, yeah.
Junior Kokolou is the business head of Techno Titans. She oversees the outreach and communications and marketing and media sub-teams. Although she originally wanted to join the fabrication team, after a certain incident with the saw, her hopes were diminished. Thankfully, she believes she fits in much more with business.
Tell them basically what the tasks are for the week, and then we all work together to get the rest of the business team to go with our activities. So usually we oversee our team's social medias, we apply for awards. We also maintain relationships with our sponsors through the forms of email blasts and thank you cards, stuff like that. And we overall just do pretty much everything that's not on the technical side of engineering.
Other prominent members include Kenneth Shen, Vice President, and Sia Deshpande, Engineering Head of Techno Titans. Kenneth, Sia, and Adve Pampadwar are the main designers of the robot. With their many years on the team, they've also had a lot of memorable moments.
My freshman year, I drilled into the table, and I was it was kind of like my thing. It was whenever we see that table now, it was a brand new table. It was the first time anyone made a dent in it, and so whenever we see that table, we're like, oh, that's my table. It's my mark. So it's but I've heard that it's actually been useful to connect things together.
One thing I remember, okay, this is I guess one of my biggest memories from robotics, and kind of the point that I feel really set in stone that I really want to do this was back in my freshman year. I was building a battery box. Every time I was like, oh, this is off, this is wrong, oh, it's not within this thing, it's not gonna work, and then we kind of iterating, and at that time I wasn't really that good at computer aided design either, so I was just making a lot of mistakes too with computer design and modeling. I guess my most memorable moment is when we actually built it. I felt so satisfying to finally see it done and completed, and we still have it. You still use it today, so it's not kind of like a legacy. It's oh yes, I built that. That's that is gonna be with our team for hopefully a long time after I go.
The first thing that comes to mind is definitely competitions. I feel like the energy at competitions is just immeasurable compared to everything else. Usually during the season, things can get stressful or things can be very, very time consuming. But once we get to competitions, we just let go of all of our fears and worries. We try to live in the moment and just enjoy the competition.
Competitions are fun experiences for members of the team to earn awards, meet new people, and have fun competing against others in a safe environment. Many of the members also engage in fun events like dance-offs. Although robotics is competitive, the FRC First Robotics Competition encourages high-quality work, emphasizing the value in others and being professional and respectful to competitors and the community at all times.
The thing about robotics is that there's a sense of gracious professionalism. But basically, that means when you go to competitions and stuff, you are basically representing your team and your fellow teammates, and it's looked down upon if you say anything negative about other teams, judges, the first program, which is what we fall under. So we basically just try to stay professional at all times, and
competitions are just really a way for all of us to just enjoy the competition, enjoy the robots, make friends, stuff like that. And our team is really, really good with like team spirit. We do cheers, dances, stuff like that. And yeah, it's overall really fun. And it's just the energy of everyone in the venue or the area. It's great. The club has grown exponentially throughout the years, not only in number, but also in female representation.
In 2017, we had like 7 girls. Now we have around 20. That's like a 186% increase. So I'm really happy about that. And also, I'm really proud of us girls too. Like, we have like our own girls channel in our Slack, and we plan like girls hangouts sometimes, and we just do a lot of things together. And I'm really, really close with the girls on the team now, just because we have been able to hang out and talk so much.
However, there have been times where the girls on the team have felt isolated due to their gender.
Especially being like the only girl in the room at times. And it felt like everybody else knew things that I just didn't know. People would be like, oh yeah, I know programming. And then it'd be like, oh. I feel like a lot of times boys will like say they know things even if they don't. And girls, at least me, I'm like, I won't say I know something unless I completely know it. So I always felt like I was like, oh, everybody else is smarter than me. I was like, oh, how am I ever going to learn, how am I ever going to learn this stuff? But I feel like you spend more time, and the more you learn, the more confident you become.
With 92 members on the team, Techno Titans is open to anyone hoping to learn more about business, robotics, engineering, and more. However, the club was not always this welcoming. In previous years, they had a cut system where they evaluated members on their performance and decided who should be removed from the team. During the summer, they focused on improving their robot to prepare it for GRITS. GRITS, or the Georgia Robotics Invitational Tournament and Showcase, is during the off-season and takes place around October, or the first semester of school.
And we used to have a cut system. So basically the October season, basically first semester, we call that the grit season, because at the end of October or early November usually, somewhere around that time, there's a competition that's called grits. So we call that the grit season. In previous years, we allowed anybody to be on the grits team, basically. If you paid your dues and then if you were engaged, we would let you go and we would let you be on the team. But then for FRC, which is like the second semester season, we used to have a cut system. So we evaluated people's behaviors, and if they acted like they didn't want to be on the team or they weren't focused at meetings, they would be pretty much warned or booted. This year it's gotten a lot better. It might have been due to COVID, but we started being a more open team. So we open up our team. It's no longer a cut system. Basically, if you're interested and you're committed and you're engaged at meetings and you step up to lead side projects and you do your part, we let anyone join the team now. So that's why our team has been able to grow so much in size.
It was 15 people who applied and only like 3 got it. So it was like, so it was like 20% who really got it. It was kind of the same for like all across all sub teams, and we cut a lot of people, and and now we're like more like open. We're like, okay, we accept everyone, right? My personal opinion on this, and we still have disagreements on the team on like or at least previous leadership definitely didn't believe this was a good method. They thought a more exclusive team was a lot better, and I think there are people on the team who disagree with me as well. But this is my opinion on this. I feel like having a more open and letting everyone who wants to join. I think that's a better system than having a cut system.
Members of the robotics team have expressed positive feelings for the team and leadership. Shreya Mahakala, the safety captain and a programmer for the team, believes that this year, especially with the new workspace, everything is very organized.
It's been a little hectic, but I think we've been managing it well. Especially this year, I feel like our leadership is super organized. We have schedules every week with designated people at designated places. Some people will be at the workspace and some people would be at the media center for set intervals of time. So it's definitely really organized this year, but then there's always just some stuff the robot breaking. think it was like Monday, we were supposed to like test on the robot, but then the robot broke, so then that kind of like delayed it. So, but there's always like, unexpected like circumstances, I guess. But I think our leadership this year has been doing really well with managing everything.
With rising hopes and challenges for the upcoming competitions, it is easy to forget that for some members, this may be their last. Kenneth Shen, Senior and Vice President of Techno Titans, hopes that people will continue doing the club because they genuinely enjoy it. For him, it was never about leaving a legacy, making a huge impact, or looking good for college. Rather, robotics became his passion.
So in terms of legacy, I really hope generally inspire people to continue doing what they want and what they find meaningful, right? So I feel like robotics, if you do robotics for college, I feel like you're kind of an idiot, in my opinion. Because it's like you spend so much time on it, you spend so much effort, and it's just like one thing on your resume. Oh, do things, because you want to, because you find them meaningful, and because you keep on inspiring others, keep on mentoring others and helping others, helping the community. Our team is very community-centric, we go through to STEM nights, we do outreach and everything.
For those interested in engineering, robotics, or even business, Techno Titans could be the perfect hobby throughout high school. Although it comes with hard work and a competitive environment, it's a way to make new friendships and explore something you never believed you would have enjoyed before. Their hard work will pay off as they compete in different competitions around Georgia and possibly the World Competition in Houston, Texas.
So first time I saw the Techno Titans was at orientation. I saw a really cool robot, and it looked really complicated to me, and I was like, wow, there's no way that I'm going to figure out how to do this. I don't know anything about robotics. I had no background in engineering or anything like that. So I was hesitant about joining, but after some encouragement with friends who were on the team and then my family, they encouraged me to join. So I joined, and I was really impressed with how inclusive the team was. It didn't matter that I didn't know anything. They were willing to teach me, and that's all that mattered. And so that's why I joined. And it's a lot of fun competitions, and just the culture of learning is something that I really appreciate within the team.
This concludes our episode with Techno Titans. Thank you so much for listening. For a transcript of this episode, head to the Point of View tab on our website, nhsmessenger.org, and follow us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook at NHS Point of View for updates and new episodes. I'm your host, Delisa Troupe, and this has been Point of View.